there is something we need, it's a leap of faith. A step away from the comfort zone and be a little brave. So take a look around you. How far can you see? How far do you think you can run, standing on your knees? It's a beautiful world out there. Just don't pass on the dare. If you have the will and a moment to spare, it's a beautiful world out there. It's a beautiful world out there. It can be a bit frightening, something you don't know. You need a little enlightening, it'll make you grow. It's a beautiful world out there. Just don't pass on the dare. If you have the will and a moment to spare, it's a beautiful world out there. It's a beautiful world out there. It's a beautiful world out there. Just don't pass on the dare. If you have the will and a moment to spare, it's a beautiful world out there. It's a beautiful world out there. Oh, if you have the will and a moment to spare, it's a beautiful world out there. It's a beautiful world out there. If there is something we need, it's a leap of faith. A step away from the comfort zone and be a little brave. So take a look around you. How far can you see? How far do you think you can run, standing on your knees? It's a beautiful world out there. Just don't pass on the dare. If you have the will and a moment to spare, it's a beautiful world out there. It's a beautiful world out there. It can be a bit frightening, something you don't know. You need a little enlightening, it'll make you grow. It's a beautiful world out there. Just don't pass on the dare. If you have the will and a moment to spare, it's a beautiful world out there. It's a beautiful world out there. It's a beautiful world out there. Just don't pass on the dare. If you have the will and a moment to spare, it's a beautiful world out there. It's a beautiful world out there. Oh, if you have the will and a moment to spare, it's a beautiful world out there. It's a beautiful world out there.
Sometimes love is a river running strong, moving like a wave through a rocky riverbed. Sometimes love is a dancer in the dark, spinning, laughing, twirling through the back door of your heart.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Uh-oh. Y'all are always late. So I was late. It was my turn to be late this morning. What's going on, everybody? Uh, oh yeah, I was, yeah. How's everybody doing this morning? I hope good. Um, So I wanted to talk to everybody. This series, these different gray thumbnails. I decided just to do something totally different and start bringing subjects to off the wall prepper that maybe we don't think about, maybe that we haven't really talked about at all. Right? I can't hide. Well, no, here I am. I was out in the forest. I got stuck out there last night, and well, it's a long story. Things happen. I was out in that forest and got turned around and couldn't find my way back to the cabin, so I just kept on looking. I made it up here about 5:30 in the morning, and finally realized that I was just standing outside spinning in circles. I was in the Twilight Zone, stuck in the Matrix. I'm glad to see everybody. I'm glad it gave you a few minutes to talk. Now let's talk about something a little serious. Um, I think that many times we look at things and we don't think about different stuff that could be really, really important to us. How many of you really look at your pets and your animals as not just an animal, but you look at them as like part of the family? You get a one in the chat because I know me and Dragonflies, we love our guys, and even the cats that we have now. It's they're part of our family, and like we really, really care about them. And the last thing I want to see is like if something happens like that, we can't take care of them, right? And also, me and Dragonflies, we talked about it. What if, let's talk about a little scenario here. What if somebody is actually coming close to your home and you decide you have to be super, super quiet? Like I'm talking quiet. You need to be really, really quiet because otherwise something could happen. They maybe you're kind of like on the DL hiding out because you know that they're there for no good and danger. And see, a lot of people talk about, well, I'm just going to get out there and fight them. That's not always the option. I'm in no way, shape, or form a coward, but sometimes you have to pick your battles. And trust me, if there's 30 people out there, 30 men and women that are being violent, sometimes you have to look at things in a different perspective, right? So I think that a lot of times animals could actually cause a situation where they're broken, they're going ballistic, and then they become a victim of whatever people want to do. I think that, you know, I was like, okay, so how would we get T-Bone and Trooper to simmer down and quiet down? Well, I think the first thing is exposure, exposing them to fireworks, exposing them to loud banging noises, and getting them to listen to you to the point that they know that when something's serious, they have to trust you, right? Because once you start that, it's really important that they understand that it's a serious situation, and they'll kind of know. I mean, I think animals sense their owners' feelings very well. They also sense other people very well. I'm sure many of you believe this, that, if somebody comes to your home and they may not be the best person, maybe they have some type of thing that they would like to do, that many times a dog will bark or stay right by your side because they know something isn't right. They know something is not right, and I think that that's like really, really important, right? It's really important to get into those with the dog or the animal so that they know. Um, so many people refer to their pets as their fur babies or their babies, right? And honestly, during a SHTF, they're going to depend on you for their survival as well. When there's a real SHTF, or if we just have a major grocery store situation, say the grocery stores break out and they lock up and there's no food. Do you have alternate ways to feed, give those animals treats, and make sure they're okay? I think something that we overlook many times in the preparedness community is these little topics that could be very important to us. See, our animals really honestly could be the key to our long term survival. because they can, one, if you're all by yourself, they're going to provide you a sense of companionship and friendship and well-being that's better than ever. They're going to alert us to danger, and they also are very good at keeping our homes, safe from mice, rats, vermin, snakes, all kinds of things. And they also sometimes can be brutal dog, where they get out there and they fight right beside you, right? Another thing is that many larger dogs can provide transportation and pack service. They can actually, have their own bag where they're maybe carrying necessities for the family, or if you'd have to bug out for some reason or get out of Dodge. I think prepping with pets can become very complicated. I do think that, because it takes research, it takes investigation, it takes time to prepare for them. And you're going to need a certain amount of time and money, honestly, to make sure that they're okay. They have to be included in their own little survival plan. And, it's our responsibility as wanting to be self-sustained and self-prepared that we do these things for our animals. And this can go all the way from your chickens to your goats to whatever it may be. So you've got to have some type of pet prepping plan, a PPP for your pet. And it's just like an emergency plan that we've developed for ourselves. But there's things that you're going to have to think about, like what kind of pets or animals you have in your home, what kind of natural disasters or other emergencies may you encounter, even without it being an SHTF, and then the health needs and special considerations for every single animal. And if you have a variety, like a dog, a cat, a bunch of backyard chickens, you're going to need to come up with a specific plan of action for each group of animals. You're definitely going to want to stock up on food, right? You're going to make sure that those animals also have up to date vaccinations. You have an official or a vaccination record for them. You're going to need to have extra pet food. You're going to need to have extra water and take that into your water plan as well. Because then, what if you have enough water for you, but not enough for them? The last thing you want to do is watch your animal perish from dehydration, just like people. And so I think clean water, of course, is essential for all of us, for everything. Then also, what if your animal is on medicine? Or what if you just don't have flea, tick control, some antibiotics, some dewormers? So it's a good idea to honestly sit down, look at how many animals you have, and then invest in an emergency plan for them. And also, I think it would be really good. We just started doing this with the dogs and the cats. We got extra dewormer, we got extra flea medicine, we got a battery operated and a manual tool to cut their nails. And I hate doing it. I will admit it. T-Bone's okay, but Trooper, oh my goodness gracious, T-Bone, I will sit there and let you do it. But Trooper, his nails are dark black, and it's very hard. So we also got the powder that you put on the end of them. And it's like a blood stop. So you just dip it in that powder in case you would nick their toenails too deep. Um, so there's a lot of things, and the other thing I think would be really important is to know where the shelters are in your area. Because what if you get separated from your animal, things calm down, and you can't find your animal? So many times people will take them to a local shelter, and a lot of local shelters. I love it that they're starting to make them no kill shelters. But what if it is a kill shelter? I know I would be devastated. I would be devastated. So that's something to think about. You might want to write that down on in a binder. Make their own binder for them. And I think this is really, really important, is learning to train the animals. And whether it's a dog, a cat, goats, horses, whatever it is, they have to be well trained to be transported with a minimum amount of stress. You should be able to get them familiar. Even like, we don't really use our crates for T-Bone and Trooper, but T-Bone and Trooper are both crate trained. So because of us traveling in the RV, we can actually say crate up and they both go in the crate, which is really awesome. Now the cats, on the other hand, that'd be a whole different situation, right? Um, there's so many things to think out about when it comes to the animals, and also like your outside animals. That that could be a dang right mess. I think it's going to take a lot of planning if you have chickens, goats, cows, horses to keep them safe, and they may need their own little bug out kit if you don't want to leave them behind. If you don't want to just set them wild or whatever happened to them, and you really truly care. I think the biggest thing that we have, and most of us have. How many of you in the chat have dogs? Hit a one if you have dogs. Is there a lot of you that have dogs? Yeah, yeah, but see, that's good training, Mama Freddie. That really is good training. Okay, so a lot of dog lovers. Hi, Kelly. Welcome to the chat. Remaining remnant. Good morning. Good morning to all the members. Tamara, Copycat. She's a wildflower. I missed a lot of you this morning. Carol, good morning. West Texas. Be safe out there on the roads. Okay, so it looks like we have a lot of dog owners. I think that, being a dog owner is probably one of the most fantastic friendships in the world. But your dog has got to learn bark training. They have to. They need to learn how to bark on command and be silent on command. Because see, if you can switch them on and off, and there's lots of training books out there. There's lots of ways to do it. I used to have a red-nosed pit bull, and his name was Buddy. And I tell you what, folks, I taught him hand signals, and I could hold my hand up like this from, I mean, as far away as he could see, and that dog would stop. That's all I'd do is hold my hand up, and he would stop. And then if I did a little snap above my head, he would come. We had worked out hand signals so well. I miss that pit bull. He was awesome. He was an awesome, awesome dog. I just didn't have the. I couldn't keep him at that time. I was moving around a lot, and it wasn't the life for him. And so he went to a farm Alabama. Yeah, Alabama. Also, taking the time to teach him some of those signals. I think bark on command is like really, really important because if you can teach him to bark on command like Buddy, he had the meanest bark. Like my mother and G were terrified of that dog because when we would go to my mom's house, he was so well behaved. He would sit right next to me, and nobody could come toward me. Nobody could come toward me unless I told him to lay down. If I gave him a hand signal to lay down, then he would calm down and he would go to sleep. But otherwise, when he sat by me, he was on point. He was on guard 24/7. At that time, I lived by myself in Dallas, and he was the best dog to have because I did have some riffraffy crap happen in Dallas. Break-ins, my truck windows got broke into, my vehicle got broke into at like 2 in the morning. I had some situations there. Had someone jump the fence, turn on my heater to my in-ground pool, leave it on while I was out of town for 5 days, and all kinds of things. So it is great to have a wonderful dog that really cares about you and is well trained. I would say, yeah, hand signals are. You're right. It's a different language, and each owner, there's some basic commands. Like this is set. This is set. In most canine world, this is set. This is down. And they're real simple. They're real simple because that way they get used to it, and they're very, very smart. Animals are very smart. So that might be something that you might want to take into consideration to teach them some of those basic commands. And I can't even. I think that's one of the most important things that I could really add to survival prepping with dogs. The other thing is having that animal, that dog, be able, if they can't go outside, you don't want to have messes all over your house. Teach them to go in a litter box. Teach them to go to a specific part of the house. Teach them there is a particular place that they're going to do their due. Because the last thing you want to be doing while you're under stress is running around stepping in a pile. Right. So that's like really important. T-Bone and Trooper, because of us traveling on the RV for so many years, they're really good at that. You can put down one potty pad and they're on it. Muzzle training. I don't like muzzles. I don't like them. I never have liked them. But a muzzle, and we talked about this, me and Dragonflies. Getting the dogs used to a muzzle could be really important because I know T-Bone and Trooper, just like when I had an incident in the RV. And I'll tell you this. This is when I broke my ankle in the RV, and my ankle rolled up underneath me. It broke it, snapped it, right? So I was blessed and lucky to be able to get back in the RV. Dragonflies got me up on the bed. So I'm laying there. The ambulance was called. The ambulance had to come in, and they had to do a certain lift on me to get me out of the RV. There was no way I could walk. My ankle was just dangling. It was a very, very painful situation. And T-Bone jumped on me and started growling and started barking and trying to bite them because he was afraid I was hurt. So that's why I think it's so important to work so closely with your animals because when they know that something bad's happened to you or that you're really stressed, they feel that. And T-Bone came straight to my side. He was going to go down for the fight. He was going to go down for the fight. And Dragonflies literally had to pick him up and hold him so they could get me out of the RV and into the ambulance. And it was narrow, 36-foot class RV, drivable. It's a Class A Fleetwood. It was something to get me out of there, and then on top of it, T-Bone going off the deep end was another situation. So that's something that you want to really train and work with your animal that they know. And the muzzle, I don't like it, but honestly, I'm getting one for T-Bone and Trooper because they will go off the deep end. And if we had to keep our location quiet for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or an hour, they could make us a target. And so I want to teach them that it's an okay thing, not that it's a bad thing. And I think by doing that and working with them, I think that they'll get it. I think they'll get it. There's a really, really cool dog pack out. It's called One, and it's Tigris. It is really, truly a tactical pet backpack. It is an awesome little pack. They have them on Amazon. I'm an affiliate, but I don't care about that. They're like $37. But this little pack is so cool because on the top of it, it has a handle. So you can actually grab that handle and pick your dog up. You can just pick them up with it. So if you had to carry them or get them into a wagon or anything like that, it's a really cool thing. If you need to get something like that, it looks like a little tactical vest too. It's really cool. So I thought I'd bring that up. Now I love my cats. Um, Survival prepping for cats is a whole different thing. Oh, one thing I forgot to bring up, and because our dogs are elders, last year Dragonflies did this. T-Bone has a hip issue, and so his hip keeps popping out. So she bought a foldable, collapsible wagon, and we figured 2 points. We carry it in our vehicle at all times now, but 2 points. One, if you wouldn't want to leave him behind, which we wouldn't, there's no way we'd leave T-Bone or Trooper behind. We could put him in that wagon and give them a little relief, or if we need them to pick up the step a little bit and they couldn't because they're an elder dog, at least they could still be with us, right? Throw them in the wagon, carry them. But also, we figured at the same time, the wagon would be great, right? The wagon would be great. Um, it would be really great to have to to throw like our bags in if your back got sore or you got tired of carrying, depending on how far you're carrying, right? But you also could use it if you're prepping with cats. Um, Prepping with cats, I think it's tempting to trust that your cat can fend for itself. They are independent. Cats are really independent. Cats know how to stay hidden, and they definitely know how to hunt. Ours do. And the other thing is, most cats will avoid people that they really don't know. But the thing is, there's still a few things that I think that you should do for your cat. Maybe have a leash and harness and train the cat, especially if you want him to stay with you. And I've seen it many times. I've seen people walking their animal on a leash, and I think, especially cats and ferrets, I think it's freaking hilarious. Make sure you have like maybe get him accustomed to a car, take him riding once in a while if you don't want to leave him behind. Now I honestly think that most cats and a lot of dogs, if you left them behind, they're going to come back, or they're going to come back to that location. We've heard about it how many times about about a dog getting lost, like at a truck stop, and finding its way back to its old house, even though the owners moved. And then the owners go back, and there's the dog sitting there. So I like our cats. Our cats, yeah, our cats are great hunters. I've gotten squirrels, snakes, mice, and field rats so far this year. So Tommy and the new mama cat are doing a wonderful job. Also, maybe growing your own catnip or having a little bit of catnip for them, just so that they can calm down too, right? Um, I think stress is going to be a big thing for everybody, right? I really do. Uh, I'm not going to go a lot into cats because I think overall cats will do pretty good, but I still think you should consider a few things if you want to bug out with them, or if you'd have to bug out with them. Excuse me, y'all. Now, farm animals, horses, ponies, cows, goats, chickens, that's really a complex game plan. And you're going to have to be way, way more invested for emergency supplies for these larger animals, for sure. And I think the most important thing for farm animals, especially in a SHTF, you're going to take them with you. You don't want to skimp on transportation. You want to be able to take them and load them up in a very quick manner. And you need to have adequate transportation to get the majority of your animals into one transport trailer, right? How many of you have large farm animals that if something happened, you would take them with you, hit a one? Yes, Benadryl is safe for cats and dogs, Royal Linus. We've used it before because Trooper gets terrible, terrible allergies where he can't. Like right now, I'm sneezing. He really gets going. How many of you have large animals though, like farm animals, that type of thing? Chickens, cows, goats, things like that. I think that I think it's really important. Excuse me. Is also you're going to have to think about a bug out location. I bugging out to me is the last thing I'm going to do, but you're going to want to identify a bug out location that could be appropriate to get your animals to, right? So don't wait for an emergency situation to figure out where it is going to be safe to take your livestock. You got to have that plan ahead of time. And you may need to have a point A, point B, and point C, because point A might be overran or there might be a bad situation. The remaining remnant, you got chickens, just throw them in the back of your car and you're good. Just take off. You're good. There'll be a little chicken poo poo for you, but maybe you'll get some eggs on the way. You never know. Um, but I think that you really, with larger livestock, you really have to have more than one location. But I think that's true for any bug out situation. And to be prepared to not always be able to go to point A, that you may have to skip and go to B or C. The other thing is there's a lot of local extension offices. There's ones here in Missouri, and there's different scenarios, and they have ways that they can actually talk to you and discuss emergency plans with you and what works best for each species of animals. So I think local extension offices are really good. We have one for the state of Missouri for the college, and they have a lot of really good classes, free classes, and things that can help you in the prepared lifestyle. So that's something to look into. Your future farmers of America. I'm sure if you went and walked around and talked to some of those guys, you could probably get some really good ideas. Your those local groups that are involved with animals are a great resource to get information. I think let's talk about the survival supplies for pet prepping real briefly. Y'all gonna have to excuse me 1 minute. I gotta dip out of here a second. I can hardly breathe. I'm gonna have to go get me a peel and I'll be right back.
This is it. Life's not infinite. It's the only chance we get. So why are we waiting? Why are we waiting? Will it click? Looking for the next new fix. Is this the new kind of sick? Why are we waiting? Why are we waiting? They say they have the answers, but no one's getting better. They say they have the answers, but it's always pay to enter. And isn't life funny? Make some money, spend it all to feel less crummy, and think that we've made it. Think that we've made it. Well, what else? Sit by ourselves, think about the hands we're dealt and all our guilt. Think that we've made it. Think that we've made it. They say they have the answers, but no one's getting better. They say they have the answers. It's always pay to enter and enter.
Sorry about that, y'all, but my mama taught me better. If my mom, if Foxy Mama comes on here, hears me, she's gonna be like, I am totally embarrassed. So, so I got to make sure that that I keep up with my mom's what she would want me to do. Uh, oh, that's a great movie. I love that movie. It makes you. It's an eye-opening movie. Also, the new one that we watched that's really old is 1984. 1984. Y'all, that's a bizarre, weird movie. But Dragon Days, that will that'll wake you up. So so let's talk about the supplies real quick. Um, I would definitely get an up-to-date vaccination record, medical history record, a stockpile of food. That's one thing that the cat food and the dog food right now are under they're under attack as well. And also, I just read a big scientific study from about the chicken food. And remember, everybody was talking about the chicken food, and their chickens were not laying eggs. Do y'all remember this? Um, so I thought that that would It's really interesting, this study, and I think I'll put it over on OTWP TV News when we do a POA report over there, because it's really interesting what they found in the chicken food in these different brands. I think that there's some important things going on with our food supply. And the thing is about the food supply, folks, is it's very interesting how they've changed the levels, right? That they changed the levels. Yeah, Country Prepper, I did a story on that about a week ago. That's old news. It's old news, man. Um, but it's really interesting how they changed the levels of mercury, arsenic, chemical sprays, and all these things higher than in most of the world, and that's fact. That's fact. And why did they change it? Wow, RCX. Wow. Yeah, it's really interesting what's going on with the food supply from our animals to ourselves. And what this grocer told me is that in 2024 we're going to see a 50% increase in groceries. 50% increase. I mean, we're already seeing. Um, yes, I seen that report too, but there's another report out. There's another one, Mama Freddie. There's several, and they are proving it over and over that there's elevated levels. And so I think that in every aspect, our food chain is under attack. It's under attack. Also, I don't want to bring up a lot of news on this channel because news, for some reason, seems to get me in trouble. And it has been, I kind of had to rant last night. If you look at the community page, you'll notice it kind of makes me sad about Off the Wall Prepper. Y'all don't realize what it takes to get 1 million views and 13,000 subs. It's a lot of work. And it all went down the toilet, and they don't even have the decency to tell me why. And I think that's what pisses me off the most, is they didn't tell me why that I got these strikes on a 11-month-old video that took my channel down. And that kind of pisses me off. I think that they should have the decency that they have to tell me why. A direct answer why, not some bullshit vague answer. But let me not get started on that, because I could really go off about it. Um, but what's interesting to me is all these things that have happened on the East Coast, Ohio, Pennsylvania, East Palestine. Why do they keep occurring there? So many of them. Now, there was one in Gothenburg, Nebraska. There's one in Oklahoma. I'm keeping track of it. I'm watching it. But why? Why so many in that area on the East Coast? I have a big why right now, and I'm really searching to see if we can find some. What's there? What's there? Thank you, Copycat. Yep, it didn't work very well, Country Prepper. I already got a warning over at OTWP TV News, but I figured it like this: since they wanted to strike me for over some nonsense, strike me over some stuff that I'm really going to tell on YouTube, and I'll be setting up OTWP TV News 2, right? I'm going to set that up ahead of time. I'll be dropping that link over there on that channel. It's really about truth seeking. It's really about speaking the truth on the tube, if they like it or not, and that's how I feel about it. Uh-oh, AI probably just heard me say that. AI, are you here? Bots, are you here? Who's watching us? Let's get back to the subject at hand, though. I do want to say that, I think I went over most of the stuff. Stockpiling food, water, a water filter, um, medicine kits, including antibiotics, vitamins, flea and tick control, dewormer, wound spray. Make sure you have good leashes for each animal. And anymore, it seems like they're hard to find. I am going to take on a big thing, and it's the first time I've really made them. I've made the collars, but I've never made the leashes out of paracord. So I'm going to see how many how many feet of paracord it'll take me, and I want to try making some leashes. Because paracord 550, tell me that would be a great prep. Your dog is on a leash made out of paracord 550, right? Good morning, George. And so your dog's on a leash made out of paracord 550, and then you're looking at 10 to 12 feet, for a decent leash. Let's say 12 feet. So you're going to have like hundreds of feet of cordage that your animal is carrying, but in return it's a leash and you don't have to carry it, which is I think is a great idea. If anybody if anybody sees Batgirl, please reach out to her. If you see her on a chat, tell her where we're at, because Batgirl was always very, very involved in this channel, and she has not been here. And I've been looking for a copycat. I hope you'll keep your eyes peeled if y'all are out in the YouTube world and see her. I hope that this brought a little just thinking. I mean, I can see the chat. I can see you're really thinking about the different things that you may need to get. And I think that at this point, that each one of us need to sit down and really, really get these plans into action. Not just talk about it, but actually do it. You know, um, I think the goal for us and for our animals, no matter what the circumstances, the bottom line is right above my head. It's survival, and to be able to thrive through the situations, because I want to help not only ensure myself and dragonflies and our animals, but as many people as possible to make it through when there's a true SHTF. If there would happen to be a war, I will tell Dreaded Seeker, will you reach out to Batgirl and tell her where we're at, please? I really miss her. She sends me a lot of cards and talks to me via mail, and I really have missed Batgirl. I mean, I miss a lot of people, but I've been trying to drop into some of the bigger lives, see if I can find some of our folks. And a lot of people are finding their way back to the OTWP, and I'm glad. Um, but I think that, you know, me personally, I just don't want to turn my back on anybody, including animals. I really want to help as many people as I can. And oh, good. Thank you, Copycat. And nobody's missing. We have a few. We have a, usually on the lives we have a group of about 100 to 200 people and 500 that watch. And a lot of people are starting to watch, but we're the ones that usually are in the chat, and that I'm really missing a lot of people, and I think that's another disheartening thing to me, is that we lost a lot of people. I guess they don't take it serious when you tell them subscribe, subscribe, subscribe to the backup channel. Um, they thought this channel would just always be fun and games, which I still think that we're going to have a lot of fun here. This Sunday night, we are having a true down to earth prepping. It's prepping trivia, and it is a dedication to Chicken Prepper. And rest in peace, Chicken Prepper. Uh, this one is for Chicken Prepper, and I hope that you all be able to join in. I think it was great that I was late this morning to my own live. I think it was great. I think it was great because you all are always late to my live, so I figure why not me be late this morning, right? Just kidding. So we have Prepper Trivia. It's at 7 o'clock Sunday night, and I want to welcome back the new members, the old members that are new members on this channel. I really do appreciate your memberships. We also this weekend we have helping a child in a terrible scenario. I might switch that one. I might switch that one out because I really want to talk about some what if scenarios, and I have some really really good what if scenarios that I would like to discuss with the channel. Hold on 1 minute. Mom, Foxy Mama is texting me. And when Foxy Mama texts me, my mama, I better text her back. She's been a little under the weather. So if you'd all keep lifting. No, I couldn't either. I couldn't either, George. Thanks for looking, man. Keep lifting Dragonflies up. Her blood pressure was still high. I don't know what's going on. If her blood pressure doesn't come down, I'm going to make her go to the ER. Also, Keep lifting up Beth D. Beth D is here. She keeps coming in. She just can't join in on some of the lives, and she's a little overstressed with her brother Bob. So please keep lifting her and Bob up. And there's we're looking for Batgirl, but Dreaded Seeker knows where Batgirl is at. I appreciate y'all being here this morning. I have a very, very busy day today because I'm switching schedules at my job, which I absolutely love. And I'm switching schedules, so I have some things I have to wrap up today because I'm going to a 4-day work week, which is awesome with me. So then I'll have 3 days off, which means that I'll be able to dedicate a little more time again to the YouTube world. And also to getting a lot of these projects done. We have so many goals for 2023 for the homestead. And I hope that each and every one of you has goals that you're setting for yourself, that you actually have written them down, that you've actually worked out plans, and that you're actually taking the steps to do the dang thing because nobody's going to do it for you. You have to do it yourself. Um, we have a lot of goals from animals to a pond to road work to new gutter system going in, new rain catch systems. We have a new orchard. There's so many things that are going on at the homestead, and you all get to see it as it transpires and changes here for us at our cabin. Our big thing by 2024, we want the cabin to be able to be self-sustainable, completely off grid if need be. We will stay hooked up to the electric. We will stay hooked up to things, but I want it to be able to go off grid. My big thing to overcome is to get water into the cabin without power, to get it pumped from the well, the cistern house into the cabin. So I am working a lot of off-grid projects. I'm also building a 55-gallon, a small one, that's going to be little rain catch. It's going to be set over by the garden. That'll have a trickle hose so that we can just turn it on and water the plants as need be. And it'll be pretty cool because the gutter system is going to be at the top. It'll run down into an IBC tote, which will fill up. And then that IBC tote will be able to fill up the 55-gallon, and then we'll be able to trickle that out with a soaker hose. So I got a lot of work to do this year. And I'm setting my goals really high because I want to see and make it happen. I've been wanting an orchard again for years and years. And so I'm going to make it happen this year. You'll probably see me out on the Kubota. I'm going to be doing a lot of Kubota work for a whole day. And Dragonflies is like, I'm going to film the crap out of you because she knows when I get going on a Kubota, you can't stop me. I'm going to be digging out the pond. The pond's going to be back here off the back deck, which I'm really excited about. And I have this coolest idea. I've wanted to do it for 3 years. Is I'm getting an old canoe, right? Old canoe. And then the canoe's going to be sunk down in the ground so high above. There's going to be a fountain set in the middle of it. The water will run into the canoe and then go over into the pond. It is going to be fabulous. It's going to look like the canoe is setting in the pond when it's really not. It will be its own catch system because we have a low area because the cabin heel comes down, right? And so, oh man, I'm super excited, Dreaded Seeker, to do this whole thing. I'm getting 2 loads of dirty chat brought in. We're going to do the whole driveway, and we're going to do the roundabout, and then we're going to do out by the outhouse so that that's all gravel because it's a lot easier to see copperheads when there's gravel. Um, we have a lot of things happening, but the day I'm just renting a Kubota for a day. I need to find a tractor, but I haven't been able to go to an auction. And so I'm hoping to be able to go to an auction this year. And then don't forget our new series has already been kicked off, Survival Cooking. So one of those will be happening real soon out in the forest. And then also I'm doing Fishing Missouri. And so I'm going to be taking you on fishing trips all over the state of Missouri. I might head over your way, Dreaded. I might head over your way. I know a fishing spot I'd like to come to. Plus, me and Dragonflies haven't went to our place over there by you, that roadside park that I love because it has the water and it has the caves there, and I want to go back over that way. Yeah, yeah. Oh, and don't let me forget, Dragonflies is getting her chickens. She may be getting them very, very soon. So I love y'all. I care about you. I hope that this helped this morning. And Dreaded Seeker, thank you for messaging back, girl. Tell her big prepper hugs, and I really miss her, and to get her butt over here. I can't wait to see her in the chat. If you see someone else out in YouTube world that you know was coming to the off the wall prepper, please send them over to the channel. Let them know. Your guineas eat snakes too. But guineas, I heard, are really loud, Royal Highness. I don't know about getting any guineas. I'm going to play one song, y'all. I'm going to get out of here. Again, I apologize. Not really. No, I do. I do. I apologize for being late this morning. Gosh darn it. Keep doing the legwork and keep rising up. Keep putting your boots on the ground because you never know when the whole United States could just fall apart. Hook, line, and sinker. Hook, line, and sinker. It means I need to go fishing. Everybody, I hope to see you Sunday night at Chicken Preppers dedicated trivia night. God bless y'all from here in the Ozarks to wherever y'all are at. Make today count. Keep rising up and keep doing the legwork.
Hey, listen up, I've tried to tell you this 100 times. Not getting better by lying there pretending to cry. You on repeat, you can see, cause you have closed your eyes. You say you listen, but you're missing what it's all about. Rise up now. If you never fall, you don't change at all. Cry out now. Have you given up? I will never stop, yeah. I try to help you, but you keep reading between the lines. There's nothing there for you to complicate, we're not aligned. You say you listen, but guessing that's just another sign of growing up. You're growing old, your life keep passing by. Rise up now. If you never fall, you don't change at all. Cry out now. Have you given up? I will never stop, yeah. Now if you break it, I can take it, I don't need a prize. Leave out the fact that I am up against 1,000 guys. My intuition efficient, cause I can use my mind. Don't try to tell me how it's done, you haven't done your time. Rise up now. If you never fall, you don't change at all.